Welcome to your hip mobility and flexibility class. This class is great for all levels, but if you find any poses not working for your body, feel free to skip it or modify. Come on down onto your hands and knees, stacking your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips, and start to find some hip circles to one direction as we slowly warming up our spine and our body. Soften your face. And then reverse the directions of those circles. And then come back to center to your neutral tabletop pose. Open your fingers nice and wide and tuck your toes under and lift your hips up and back to your down dog and start to pedal out through your feet by bending one knee and the other. Find this movement a little slower than usual. And rock your hips from side to side several times as well. And then come back to your neutral downward facing dog. Deep breath in, lift your right leg up to your three-legged. Exhale, bend your right knee, open the hip, shoulders square to the earth. And start to find some circles with your right knee away from your body. Find 3 to 4 circles, feeling your hip joint. And then reverse the directions of those circles, and now circles towards your body. Relax your face. After your last circle, place your right hand to the outside of your right hand. Sink your left knee down, feeling your left hip flexor stretch. Deep breath in. As you exhale, send your hips back, straighten your right knee out, flex your right toes, and fold over. Inhale, right knee bent, hips down and forward. Exhale, hips back, straighten your right knee out, flex toes, and fold over. One more time. Inhale, drop your hips down and forward. Exhale, send your hips back, straighten your right knee out, and fold over. And inhale, right knee bent, hips down and forward. Exhale, bring your left foot to the outside of your left hand, toes out, heels in. Sink your hips down to the earth. Feel free to come on down onto the boards of your feet. Option 2, ground your whole feet to the earth. Hands at your heart center and place your elbows inside of your knees and gently open your knees. Press your knees away using your elbows. Place your fingertips down to the earth and lift your hips up. Bring your feet with hip width distance apart and fold over. And rock your hips from side to side several times. And then slowly step your feet back to your down dog. And we'll do this on the other side. As you inhale, start to lift your left leg up to your three-legged down dog. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip, shoulders square, so gently press your left shoulder down to the earth. And start to find some hip circles away from your body. Find 3 to 4 circles. Relax your face. And then reverse the directions. Find another 3 or 4 circles. After your last circle, bring your left foot to the outside of your left hand. Sink your right knee down. Deep breath in, feeling your right hip flexor stretch. As you exhale, send your hips back, straighten your left knee out, flex your left toes and fold over. Deep breath in, bend your left knee, hips down and forward, lift your heart up, feeling your right hip flexor stretch. As you exhale, hips back, left leg straight, flex toes, fold over. Inhale, hips down and forward. And exhale, hips back, left knee straight, fold over. And inhale, bend your left knee, hips down and forward. Engage your core and step your right foot to the outside of your right hand, toes out, heels in. Sink your hips down and your mount, hands at your heart center. To your Malasana Yogi squat. And find some hip rocks from side to side several times, and feel free to keep your fingertips down to the earth. Find your own option. And then come back to center to neutral yogi squat. Release your fingertips down to the earth, bring your feet parallel to each other with hip distance, and fold over. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, toes out, heels in, sink your hips down to your yogi squat. Elbows inside of your knee. Gently press your knees away. Fingertips down. Inhale, hips up. Feet parallel to each other. And fold over. And then inhale, halfway up. Toes out, heels in. Sink your hips down back to your yogi squat malasana. And stay here for several breaths. Feeling your hip joints. Opening up your hips. And keep breathing. And keep bringing your awareness to your hips. And release your fingertips down to the earth and bring your feet with hip width distance apart. Fold over. And then inhale, halfway up. And then exhale, step back to your down dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Gently release your knees back down to the earth, back to your hands and knees. Bring your right ankle behind your left wrist and find one straight line from your left toes to your left hip. Hands underneath your shoulders. Find your hips pointing forward. And then gently fold over, coming down onto your forearms with the palms together to rest. And feel your hips on your right glute. Relax your face. And breathe into the space in your right hip. Soften your shoulders. And soften the belly. Couple of more breaths. Go ahead and place your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your left toes under and press yourself up and step your right foot back to your down dog. And then inhale, right leg up to your three-legged, bringing back the blood flow to your right leg and hip. And then bring your right foot back to the earth. Second side. Drop your knees down, untuck your toes, two hands and knees. And now bring your left ankle behind your right wrist. Find one straight line from your right toes to your right hip. Hands underneath your shoulders, and your hips are facing forward. Deep breath in. As you exhale, fold over, coming down onto your forearms with your palms together. Relax your neck and head, and breathe into your left hip and glutes. And keep breathing as you soften the muscles in your face. And soften the shoulders. And soften the belly. And soften your hips to the earth. Inhale. And then exhale out. Beautiful. Place your hands underneath your shoulders. Tuck your right toes under. Press yourself up to your down dog. And then lift your left leg up to the sky. And then release your left foot back down to the earth. Back to neutral downward facing dog. Release your knees down. Open your knees as wide as your mat. Bring your big toes come to touch. Extend your arms to the front of your mat as you rest your forehead on the ground to your child's pose. Allow your hips to get really heavy, drop down, relaxed, creating lots of space in your lower back, your hips, your sacrum, and keep breathing. And then slowly curl your torso all the way up. Place your left fingertips behind your back. Lift your hips forward and up as you circle your right arm up and over. And then slowly release your hips back down to the earth, facing forward. Place your right fingertips behind your back. Lift your hips up and forward. Circle your left arm up and over, feeling your front thighs and hips stretch. And then release your hips back down onto the ankles, your heels, facing forward. And take your feet to one side. And make your way to your seated pose with your right shin in front of your left. Otherwise, we're gonna stack our knees together. So bring your right leg on top, left leg on the bottom. Knees are one straight line as close as possible. If this is a little too much for your hips and legs, go back to your gentle seated pose. Place your fingertips in front. Otherwise, place your hands onto your feet and gently fold over and your mount. Your hips are still grounded to the earth, so don't go so far. Breathe into those hips. And then lift your torso all the way back up and switch sides. So now sit with your left shin in front of your right shin. That's option 1. Or option 2, we're gonna stack our knees together. So now your right leg on the bottom and left leg on top. Stack those knees as close as possible and hands onto your knees. Huge breath in, spine nice and tall. As you exhale, fold over and you mount. Your hips are still grounded to the earth, so don't go so far. Find your own degree, listening to your own body. Soften your face as you breathe into your hips. And then gently curl your torso all the way back up. Unwind your legs and find your seat with your legs crossed in front. And hands onto your knees. And close your eyes and take a moment to feel your body, especially your hips, how they are, how they feel right now after the practice. And I hope you find some relief in those areas. And we'll end the class with lots of love and gratitude. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me for this class today, and I'll see you soon in my next video. Have a wonderful and beautiful rest of your day.